I'm self-motivated, so I don't need they tell me what to do or when to do it. So it's just great. It's just a great opportunity for people that are out there that really want freedom. That's an ideal situation. If you're really interested in building a business that's solely dependent on just you and your skill set, and you don't have to worry about anybody else telling you what to do, how to do it, this is the best business ever.
Welcome to True Talk. Got a special guest with me today. Got Nat Di Carlo in the studio. How we doing, Nat?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming up.
You bet.
Or coming across.
Coming across, yeah.
From LA.
Gotcha.
It's where you're born and raised?
Yep. Yeah,
Yep.
Southern California. Yeah.
Southern California. You've been with us for how long now, Nat?
So I started in July 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
Okay. So post-pandemic, all that stuff.
Right.
And you, before we got on, you mentioned you were in financial services already.
Correct.
How long have you been in financial services total?
So I started right out of college at 21. So I've been doing financial services for 30 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you go to college for?
Finance.
Okay.
Economics and finance. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So you actually, I always joke, like, I don't know people that wanted to be a life insurance agent, but
Yeah.
you wanted to be in
I was
financial
actually on the other side for most of my career. I was doing more of the investment side.
Okay.
And then I transitioned into life insurance over the last few years.
Got it. What attracted you to that industry back then?
It's just exciting. I had a mentor and a friend that was in the business, and I was just wowed by the stock market and being in New York. I went to New York for a while. And
You worked in New York?
Yeah, I was there for a few months training. And
what was that like?
It was great. Yeah, it was good. Down on Wall Street, it was really good. And then just an exciting lifestyle. It was a great way to make money, and it was commission-based business, which I liked.
Yeah.
And, it was a good career. Yeah.
Got it. What was your best year back then?
Oh man, I probably was 29, 30. I was making $1 million.
Really?
Yeah.
At 29, 30.
Yeah.
What's that? I mean, you college, like, did you come from money?
No,
you didn't.
No. I started from scratch, built
Yeah.
up my business, and being in commissions was just the sky was the limit.
Yeah.
So it was exciting. Then I had a family about that time. Things kind of slowed down a little bit.
Okay.
It wasn't the priority to make as much money.
Right. Because that's a grind.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what was your work schedule like back then at 29, 30?
Well, I was on East Coast time. So, I was up at 4 in the morning, West Coast, and working, all day into the evening.
Wow.
You had to do that back then. To do that. It was cold calling, like real cold calling, not like what we do here.
Really?
Real cold.
So you're cold calling,
like right out of the
phone
stocks, like right out of the white pages.
Really?
Yeah.
So you talked to how many people would you have to talk to a day to?
Oh, hundreds.
Really?
Yeah. It was just like literally the phone book. So it was quite different than a leads-based system, which was what I was attracted to when I came here.
How long did you do that for?
So I had that business all the way up until about 2013. So roughly 20 years.
Okay.
And then what I did is I started gravitating a little bit more towards real estate development.
Yeah.
And started to take on some projects and sort of transitioned out of the financial services more into the real estate development.
And this is in California now?
Yeah.
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 Commercial real estate?
No, residential. We started out, we were buying homes, we were keeping rental properties. Then I began to flip properties for profit. Ultimately, we started building homes, building tract homes.
Okay.
So it was all residential real estate.
Yeah. Pretty successful there.
It was. There were some ups and downs.
Yeah.
And then got a little bit over my ski tips on a couple of projects. The pandemic hit, and we ran into some entitlement risks and some trouble getting some projects through, and ended up losing the properties because of some debt that was on there. So it was difficult. Yeah.
So you took a hit.
I took a big hit. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was prior to this. You said you found us in 21. So what were you thinking at that time? Were you just going to kind of, I guess, weather the storm, wait it out? Were you looking for something else?
It took me, that whole process took about 4 or 5 years of a lot of pain, a lot of trying to fund and using my network to keep things moving. I had a company with 14 or 15 employees, and we had several projects, and then the pandemic hit and things just stopped, and I couldn't get things through the city. There was a couple of big projects that just took me in a position where it was kind of do or die. And unfortunately, they didn't work out. So I put all my net worth into that. And by the time that was done, I had to find a new way to make some money.
What were you thinking at that point?
I was in trouble. I was in some pretty financial dire straits at that point.
And you have 2 kids, right?
2 kids,
At this point, they're not in college yet, right?
No, they were, just coming into high school.
Okay.
And,
which is still expensive in high school.
Very expensive. I was used to a very good lifestyle. I'd been making money all my life. And I looked in the mirror and I'm like, what am I going to do now? You know, I'm almost 50. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do and get into the next stage. And a good friend of mine, previous associate, introduced me to the business and said, you'd be great at it. Why don't you give it a shot? And I really had nothing else to do. I was either going to start a new business or, you know, get back into sales.
Yeah. So, what were your options at that point? Were you thinking about another business, or you were just kind of like, what the hell do I do?
Yeah, it happened pretty quickly at the end. I mean, it was like, look, if a couple of these projects I could have got through, I could have probably weathered the storm.
Okay.
And they were big. But at the moment that I lost them, I really didn't have any options. Wow. You know, I was stuck, and I needed to make money quickly. I needed to make a lot of money quickly.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided to jump into this business.
So you knew it was Alvern, right?
Yeah.
You knew him for how long?
30 years.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys were in business?
We started as stockbrokers
together. Oh, so he was in New York with you?
Well, we met in LA.
Got it.
And then we both trained back there. But yeah, we've known each other forever. And he knew my situation. He knew how desperate I was going to be. And he said, hey, you can make money quickly. It's a leads-based system. He's like, you don't have to cold call like you're used to. And you can build a big team. And so, yeah, I gave it a shot.
Yeah.
Got my license in 4 or 5 days and made it happen.
Really?
Yeah.
And you didn't think nothing of it. You're just, hey, Alvern says it's good. Let me give it a shot.
I didn't have a choice. You know, I needed to start making money quickly. And, and he was pretty adamant that it was going to be a quick sales cycle. And that was one of the things that attracted to me. You know, it was like, it's immediate. You know, a couple of days later, you can get paid. So
you got your license, 21, said 3-4 days.
Yeah, I think it took me 5 days of studying, and I had no other option, so I wasn't gonna waste time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like when you first started calling on leads? Were we in home back then? Were you doing virtual?
Yeah, I was in home, and what happened in LA, I started buying, I forget the name of the leads, those internet based leads.
Okay. Like the instant internets?
Yeah, instant internets. Yep. And I had to borrow some money to get my first batch of leads. Started running appointments in LA County, San Bernardino County, and it was tough. It took a little bit, but the biggest problem I had was the traffic. You know, I just couldn't get to as many people as I want. I had no problem booking the appointments.
Okay.
The actual calling and making the appointments was easy, but getting, and then the no-shows obviously that you run into. But driving in LA, you know, you could have 15 appointments on the calendar, but you're just not going to get to them all.
Oh, yeah, because traffic.
There's hours and hours in between. So I decided, I looked on the map, on the heat map, and I said, hey, there's lots of leads in North Carolina and Virginia area. So I decided to buy a batch of leads in North Carolina and got on a plane and just made it happen.
Good old road trip.
So I started running leads in North Carolina for a couple months.
Yeah.
I was just living in Airbnbs, rented a car. Came back to LA, tried to run for a month, and I just ran into the same problem.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it in LA. So went back to North Carolina, was running successfully, and started to get a little bit more into the lead flow and figure out what was working. So the numbers start to get a little bit better. But I wanted.
What'd you do to fix the no-show ratio?
I don't think that was really something I fixed. I think it was just being in North Carolina, I could get to places more easily, so I could just be more efficient with my day.
Got it.
But then I started to look at a little bit different kind of lead flow, started to get a little bit more into mortgage protection, and that helped clearly. But I was still frustrated with the no-shows and driving around, and I knew how to sell. I knew that wasn't the issue. I know how to call. I just needed to be in front of more people.
Mm-hmm.
So I came back and I really wanted to be home again. And it was actually Al. He said, hey, why don't you give telesales a shot? You know, and I just was real reluctant in the beginning. I just didn't think I didn't think it would work. I just didn't think it would work. This kind of business, you know, seeing the kind of clients that we were seeing.
Yeah. It's funny because you've done telesales before, right? Stocks and whatnot. Yeah. But you just didn't think and I think a lot of us had that thought process at that time. You know, even Sean himself, like we were against it.
I remember that.
It's like if you were selling telesales, like don't tell anyone, you know?
Well, that's what happened. I felt like it was like a secret. You know, there were people doing it and it just didn't get out. So I was just following the system. I mean, the system worked. I was producing good numbers and I don't want to mess it up. But I just felt like I could get in front of more people. Mm-hmm. And so, because I knew once I got in front of them, I could sell.
Right.
I could, you know, sky was the limit, but driving around just seemed very unproductive to me.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
So I got into telesales. I bought a batch of leads, and never looked back. The numbers just exploded from there.
Oh, so you did more.
I doubled my production when I started.
What was your best year prior to telesales?
So it was only 3 months into the business that I started to do telesales, but my run rate was probably 250 to 300.
Okay. So if you would have stayed in the field, you would have finished somewhere 250, 300.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Got it.
And then I started in December or January after that first 3 or 4 months. And that full next year I did 850.
Yeah.
So
wow.
It was just being more
you
productive.
Don't think you would have done that if it wasn't for
There's
telesales?
No way I could have done that.
Yeah.
Because no. This is just the average ticket size that I was generating wasn't high enough to do that.
Right.
It just wasn't physically possible.
Yeah.
So
go ahead. I always talk about how much this business evolves, and you mentioned something that we've not talked about on here in a while. Like most of us started in home. Well, I say that now. Now there's young kids, they don't even know what in-home sales are. But the travel trip is something that we don't talk about a lot, but that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially even before you started here, like early on, because of the lead flow.
Right.
I mean, you go where the leads are.
Right.
And a lot of people just like you would pull up their lead map and go, well, there's nothing around me, but hey, look at this spot, 3 states away or the other side of the country. But take it, for those that don't know, kind of take them through, I guess, the mentality of a travel trip, what that looks like, how that, like, it's not a vacation. Like, no. What are you looking for? How long are you out there? Like, what were your travel trips like?
Well, so, I mean, it was very simple. I was flat broke when I went to North Carolina. I bought a batch of leads, and somebody gave me enough money to get an Airbnb and a rental car.
Really?
So I had no option B. I had no way to get back.
So you're there all on borrowed money.
Just full straight on. Started dialing leads the day before I left.
Yeah.
Booking appointments. Flew in, went straight to my first appointments from the airport, and flew into Charlotte and drove a couple hours to where I was going to be, and just made a few sales and bought another batch of leads
while you were out there.
Yeah, the next few days, and then kept running. And there was really no option at that point. I had to make it work. So I was full time there. I was getting Airbnbs as I went, rental cars as I could afford it.
Wow.
I spent, like I said, 30, 40 days there. Then came back and did another 30, 40 days. So it was a full time commitment. It was. You
were out there for 30 to 40 days.
Yeah, straight. Yeah,
wow.
straight.
And meanwhile, you got kids in high school, right?
Yeah.
What do you tell your kids? Like, I'm sure you have these conversations.
Well, I mean,
right?
To be fair, I mean, I am separated, so they were living with their mother, so I didn't have custody or I didn't have time. They didn't have to be with me full time. But I said, hey, Dad's on a business trip. I'm going to be gone for a while, and we'll stay in touch. We'll communicate. But there was no other option.
Yeah.
And I didn't see running leads. First of all, there weren't as many leads in our area in Southern California at the time, and I just saw that big heat map, and I'm like, God, I got to go there. There's endless flow of leads, and it just seems like a great place. And I'm glad I did that, because I think that just being in that rural area was nice for me to get away and just be at peace, not have any distractions. And it was a great period of time. Actually.
A lot of different pace compared to what you're used to, right?
Completely different from LA. But travel trips were amazing. You really focus, and you're not distracted with all the stuff that you have at home. So I miss those days. It was fun. Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of, we don't talk about it a lot in here, but that's kind of how we built this company was, a lot of top guys going out and doing travel trips for a weekend, weeks or months at a time. Yeah. But it's like, we talk about learning this business, and a lot of guys will give you a number, 100 appointments, get through your first 100 appointments.
Right.
Well, how fast do you want to do that?
Exactly.
Do you want to do that over the course of 3 months or 3 weeks?
I think that's critical. It took me that first 30 days, and I was running a lot of appointments to get the hang of it, get up to speed, figure out all the nuances and the carriers and the underwriting. But the quicker you can get through that, the better.
So it took you about 30 days to get comfortable.
Yeah, it did.
And now I'm going to say that you are an anomaly. So let me tell you why. Okay. Because, you see the agent force.
I do, yeah.
They're younger than you. Right. They're younger than me.
Right.
I'm almost 40. I'm a dinosaur. Right. So, but, and what I mean by this is, the older a person is, the more successful they've been in other industries, the harder it is to get them to do what we do, because a lot of times they come in, and you've recruited, so you probably dealt with some of this. They come in with, well, this is how I used to do it over here.
Yep.
This is how I used to in the stock market, in the real estate. And you've been able to kind of, I don't want to say forget that, but come in here and, at least from what I can see, not have those things stunt your growth.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, first thing is I didn't have a choice. I needed to make money. So the system apparently was working. So I bought into the system. My upline was straightforward. He said, just follow the system. Don't question it.
Yeah.
And I watched a ton of podcasts early on before I got my license just to understand what was happening. I saw what Sean was saying. It just made sense to me. And for me, I understand what you're saying. A lot of people my age or people that have been successful, they might not understand how simple it can be. But for me, that's what made it more attractive. This was about the easiest sale I could possibly imagine doing. I don't think this is very difficult. It's not complicated.
It's simple.
It takes hard work because you have to be disciplined on your own, but the actual sales process is easy.
Right.
And it's quick. It's immediate results. So you don't have things in the way like the markets, you don't have interest rates if you're a lender, if you don't have other things in your way. It's just simply you and the client.
Yeah.
And that part was attractive to me.
Yeah.
So, but I understand it can be a little tricky, especially for people that are seasoned. They've got
absolutely. I mean, you made over $1 million before the age of 30.
Yeah.
Selling stocks, and then you've done, real estate. Right. So typically what you see with someone with that experience success is like, I already know how to do it. Don't give me the training. Just give me the leads. Yeah. And then they crash and burn. Yeah. And it's not them, it's the system. But you came in. Obviously knowing Al, Vern, and that connection there may have helped, but you just came in with the right perspective.
Just part of it was just had no choice, no other options. And partly I just really saw the simplicity of it. And I thought that was extremely attractive. It was just simply a numbers game, just as many people as you can get in front of. There's nothing in your way to upside. And that was extremely attractive to me. Yeah.
In those first 30 days, was there ever a point where you doubted your ability here and think it wasn't going to work?
There was a period of a week or so where I made no sales. I was out of money. I was stuck in North Carolina. I had no way back.
Really?
Literally got down to my last, $600-700 to buy leads. And I told Al, I said, if I don't make a sale this week, I'm not going to be able to get home. I don't know what I'm going to do. So there's been ups and downs.
Yeah. So you're in North Carolina. This is your first travel trip?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you go a week with no sales.
Yeah. And I had bought a bunch of leads the week before.
What'd you spend the week before, roughly?
I was trying to buy $1,000 at a time.
Okay.
And I was trying to do that twice a week.
So you're already a couple grand in.
Yeah. And, the sales were there, but they were slow. You get a couple chargebacks and all of a sudden, I'm down to nothing. And I'm like, I don't have a car. The car's up in 2 days. I don't have a flight back. Airbnbs come and do. What am I going to do?
And you're down to your last $600-700.
I got to bank on myself. So I remember getting those leads. I pulled off on the side of the road, and what I would do in between no shows is I would literally pull off on the side of the road and just start dialing on my laptop, and just keep going.
Wow.
And, that part is difficult to teach new recruits. That's the one thing that I don't know how to train for that, how to teach people that. You either got that or you don't.
I think so. I think 100% you either got that or you don't.
Yeah.
Because when you talk through it now, it sounds crazy, right? Yeah. You're over there, and number one, you're there on borrowed money in the first place, right? Like, how much did you borrow to even go on this trip?
Just a couple grand.
Couple grand.
Yeah.
So you already in the red because now you got to pay that back regardless, right? And then you're going through that money, and now your last $700.
No home. I had given up my place to do the travel trips. I just
really,
I
was so you had no place to go.
I was basically homeless. I'm just driving around the country, just making sales.
So what'd you do with that last set of leads? That like the $600-700 you spent?
I made a couple sales. That was enough to get me through, get another batch of leads, and get back to California for a while. And I stayed with a friend for a month, just running there to save some money, and then. Built up a little nest egg and went and did the exact same thing. Went back to North Carolina and just made it happen. Yeah.
So at what point, you said for, a week or two, you're thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do. At what point did you realize, you know what, this is it. I'm going to make this work. How soon was that?
Well, I remember sitting on the side of the road in the middle of literally nowhere in North Carolina. And I'm like, this is a gut check, And by the way, I had some serious, baggage, I would say is the right way to say it, from my previous life. I wasn't just dealing with trying to make money here. I was dealing with a lot of issues that I had to resolve legally and cleanup of my old life in terms of projects and liabilities that I needed to deal with. So it wasn't like I was just dealing with the stress of just trying to make a buck. I was trying to deal with all that as well. So it was a gut check, just one of those
things. Pretty
things.
Stressful time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about as stressful as it can be. But at the same time, it was extremely liberating. It just felt free, just selling and not having to worry about all that, and just trying to make a sale and working 15 hours a day. It was exciting.
Yeah. Do you miss going out and meeting with people?
I do. Yeah, I do. I don't miss the travel.
No.
And I don't miss the no-shows. But there was something nice about actually meeting people and seeing their faces when you get them signed up. And it's that telesales is a little cold. It's a little dry.
Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame. But I've never done telesales. I've only been in home. I've been out of the field for years. But whenever anybody asks me, the one thing I miss is sitting down in front of a client. Like you meet. Nice. You meet 10 different people every day, and you get to know a little bit about their life in a few minutes. Yeah. And then you get to help them, you know?
Absolutely.
And that's something that I always say you can't fake. Like I think one of the I guess requirements to have success here is you have to actually care about people.
Definitely.
Right. Like and that's something you see in sales. So there's people that, sales is just a job to them, just selling a product. Who cares? Right. There's a lot of products you can sell and get by with that. Right. Like if I'm selling you knives or cars, or it's transactional. I don't need to be your best friend to sell you a car. It's like, you got the car I want, it's a good price. Hey, let's buy it.
Right.
This is a different deal. They're buying you. Yeah. Right. And now even in stock, I've never sold stocks, but I'd assume it's more transactional or what's your take on that?
No, I mean, it's actually more intense. I think you have to build more deep and solid relationships, and the sales cycle is longer.
Okay.
I mean, back in the early days, it was transactional, just trying to sell stocks over the phone, but it became more of a financial planning.
Oh, it did. Okay.
That kind of a thing over time. So you're dealing with a high net worth
client. Got it. So you had some experience with that.
Oh,
there. Yeah. But I mean, do you agree that if you don't care about people, you're not going to be able to do this?
They're going to sense it. If you don't come across compassionate and really trying to understand what they're trying to do, they're going to sense it, and they're not going to get the sale.
Right.
So, yeah, absolutely. You have to be like that.
So you did in-home for how long? A few months?
Yeah, so I started in July, and then I started doing telesales late December that same year.
Got it.
Yeah.
What was that transition to telesales like?
And I just bought some leads, and I thought on this batch I'm just going to give it a shot. Just started booking appointments to do it over the phone. And I remember I made my first sale. And I'm like, I can't believe they actually bought this over the phone. And then from there it was just okay, let's open the floodgates. And I just started upping my lead flow and just going after it because I knew it was going to work.
Yeah.
So it was a big deal to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, think about being in North Carolina for that time period, all that stress you dealt with there. And then now do you work out of an office, out of your house? Where do you do your?
Just out of the house.
Out of the house.
Yeah.
Now you're doing the same or more now.
Yeah.
Just out of the house. Like, what is that like?
It's great. I think it's one of the most rewarding things ever to be able to work from home and not have that office environment if you don't want it. I'm self-motivated, so I don't need anybody to tell me what to do or when to do it. So it's just great. It's just a great opportunity.
Yeah.
For people that are out there that really want freedom, I mean, this is just it's an ideal situation.
Right. Yeah, it's but you're right. You need to be somebody that can be a self-starter. Like you're your own boss. I mean, Al's not going to call you, hey, Nat, how come you're not working? What are you doing? Like he's there for support, but nobody, and that's not just no one's job here is to micromanage the agent and make sure you clock in, clock out. It's not a 9 to 5. It's a complete different.
It just takes a certain kind of person. I think what's the saying that anybody can do this, but most people can, or something like that. Most people won't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not for everybody, but it's for somebody that really wants freedom. They want to make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. This is really the best business that I can imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you're 100% right. I think it doesn't require any skills. Like there's people that you've had an extensive sales background. There's people that have had no sales experience and they sell just as much, and vice versa. There's people that are older, younger, whatever. Yeah. But I guess the commonalities between all these people are, number one, they can check their ego at the door. Yep. Right. Regardless of whatever success you had or didn't have, you can leave that at the door. You can be a self-starter. You're willing to put in the work. It does take work.
It does. There's a lot more than people think.
Absolutely.
It takes a lot of work. Yeah.
I think when they hear it simple, they think easy. No, that's completely different.
Yeah.
It is simple.
To put the numbers in your favor, you just have to have more opportunities. And
sure.
To get more opportunities, you have to make more calls, buy more leads, sit in front of more people.
Yep.
So it's not rocket science, but it takes just consistency. And that's the other thing. You have to be consistent.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a tough business if you're not consistent.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's a mental game too. Like it's not, physically, is it hard work to dial the phone? No, but mentally,
right.
Like, I mean, you talk about when you're out there in North Carolina, that's a mental grind out there when you're thinking, God, I don't know what I'm going to do. Right. I have until Friday and then I'm homeless.
I've had a few of those situations, even recently. I mean, we all go through peaks and valleys, and it can be a mind game that you have to play Absolutely. With yourself when you go through those valleys. You have to kind of get it out. And what always works for me is activity. If you up your activity, everything kind of works itself out.
Yeah, it's hard to sit there and think about your failures and what's going wrong when you're working.
You just have to keep working.
Yeah.
All your mistakes go away if you just keep working.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you said, though, because I think sometimes people see someone like you you've been Hall of Fame how many times now? 4 or 5?
Every year, yeah. 4.
Everywhere. You're going to hit it again this year. You probably already did. We haven't looked at the updated numbers, but as of last month, you're like 340.
Yeah,
so
I'll definitely hit it again.
You'll hit it again. So I'll be the 5th year?
Fifth in a row. Let's see, 22. 5th in a row.
5th year in a row, Hall of Fame. And I think when people see that, they think, well, Nat doesn't have a bad day, right? It doesn't go. He's just, everybody he meets with, he just clothed it. It's just amazing. Right. But you still go through this at times, right?
I mean, I just had a down cycle a few weeks ago. It was getting in my own head, and leads just weren't working out. A bunch of no-shows. It happens.
Yeah.
And every time I get in those situations, I just say, okay, buy more leads or do more activity.
Yeah.
And it always seems to work, but it's hard. It's hard to push yourself.
Absolutely.
And most people won't. So
no,
it's difficult. Yeah.
And it's almost like they want to avoid those. They're going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't care how long you've been in the business, how good you are, you're going to have a bad day here and there.
Right.
But are you going to have a bad day or a bad hour and move? How long are you going to sit in that, in that mood, I guess. Right.
Well, for me, it's usually 4 or 5 days. If I get, I can tell when the cycle's coming, and you have 4 or 5 days of no shows. That's about the time it usually picks up and turns around. Yeah, never more than 4 or 5 days in a row.
What do you do? Like when you realize this is happening, you're like, oh shit, it's day 2. Here we go again. I guess, what do you do mentally now that you've been through this so many times? So
again, you just have to have a gut check and increase your activity. Literally, just do something.
Yeah,
call somebody, text somebody. Buy some more leads, do something.
Yeah.
Then something out of the blue will happen that'll save you. Maybe you have a client call and want some additional insurance, or you'll just get a layup. It's inevitable. If you just increase your activity, it always works out.
Yeah.
Not easy to always do that mentally, but if you do it, it works.
Right.
100%.
That's as much as this business has changed. The 2 things that have not is the attitude, activity.
Yeah.
Here's like, if you have both, if you keep them where they need to be, you'll have success.
Yeah. 100%.
You can't have one without the other. You can be working your ass off, but if your negative is all hell, the clients will pick up on that through the phone.
They do. Absolutely.
And I think a lot of times when you have that, whatever it is for you, a day, couple days, there's usually something that you stop doing or shortcut it, right? Like, and it's easy to do. I mean, as consistent as you are, a lot of these guys, you're doing it day in and day out, and then you skip a small step, like 100%. Something small. I don't need to go through the inventory. I need to ask this question.
Right.
And then it snowballs, and all of a sudden you have
it always comes back to bite you if you don't do the activity.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have an agent of the week, Nat. So, talk about age differences. I'll be 40 in like 2 months.
Right.
This kid is 19 years old.
Okay.
And last month, his team did 643,000.
Wow.
We actually just had him up for a podcast too. Anas in Chassis, he is with Ronnie Salem, that whole crew. These guys are killing it. But 19 years old. He was like 8. He got a license when he turned 18. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like found this at that age.
Yeah.
So
it's exciting.
It is, dude. It is. Let's take a look at his testimonial here.
What's going on, guys? It's Innocent Chassis with Nova Financial. If there was one piece of advice that I could leave off to a brand new agent, or just an agent that's just struggling a little bit in the business, is you have to close yourself inside your business. The moment you close yourself inside your business is the day your business succeeds and gets closer to succeeding. That's very important, crucial, because if you don't know what your goals are, you don't understand your why, and you don't actually see the bigger picture in the business, then you'll never get to that level. And then once you do those things, then you can close other people inside your business and start building an army and building a team behind your back. So the moment you close yourself inside your business is the moment you could close anybody in your business.
I like that. Close yourself inside. Basically sell yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, the first person you got to sell on this is you, right?
Absolutely.
If your belief level isn't there, you're not going to have success.
Right.
And I think, his point about the whys and the goals are so important, because if you don't have a why or a goal at all, what are you doing this for? I'm sure yours has changed along the way, right?
100%. Like, I mean, I watching it. I remember when I was 20 or 21 and I got to be a stockbroker. I didn't need to make any money. I was a young kid. I just wanted to make money, and so I made money. I made money just because I wanted to. Now it's different. Now,
now you have no choice.
I make it because I have to.
Yeah,
it's a different. But that's interesting what you said. I mean, obviously, you have to believe in yourself, and make it happen from there.
How much has your why and your goals changed? Like day one, I mean, completely different from now, right? You're out there trying to figure out how you're going to get to the next week financially and whatnot. But, like when I got into this business, I didn't have kids yet, Nat, but my why at that point was I wanted to raise my kids better than the way I was raised, essentially.
Right.
And then you realize that's a low bar a lot of time. In compared to, I guess it's all relative. What we have access to, that's a low bar.
Right.
So you have to revisit that. Like, all right, what's my next why? How much has yours changed? So day one, what was it and what is it now?
Yeah, I mean, I was in survival mode for the first year or two.
Yeah.
Now it's really. I thought about this actually the other day. As my youngest child is off to college now, I'd actually like to build a legacy. Really, at this point, it's not just about making money now. I'm 55 and I got a few years left to really grind it out and. Like to leave them a massive business or a legacy for something something that I've accomplished again. I'm used to be an entrepreneur. I'm building businesses, and it'd be nice to give it one more run to build something substantial.
Leave it for them.
Yeah, or somebody or something or somebody or just have something that I was to show some success again.
Yeah,
that's really what my why is right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. What are your goals production wise? Like, is your goal to do 500K a year, or is that just kind of what happened?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I like I said, I was focused on kind of the immediacy of what I needed to do.
Yeah.
Now it's time to build that team. It's really time to focus on recruiting. So production, I mean, I'll do those numbers just because I need to keep a lifestyle and keep my kids through school and all that kind of stuff. But really now it's about re-gearing all that to try to figure out how to build a team.
Yeah,
and that's. I think maybe a little bit difficult for me at my age, just because of like you said, what is the average age here? Early 20s?
25 probably right now.
I mean, so it's just a different language that I speak. But there are a lot of people my age or younger that are in careers that aren't happy that I think you do extremely well here. So
absolutely,
I'll be trying to focus on some of that as well. But that's the next step for me. Keep the production kind of in that Hall of Fame range, and then start really trying to leverage that into building the proper team.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, one of the best things you have going for you now is you know how to sell. I mean, that's I've seen people come in and think that they don't need to sell at that level to build a team, and it's hard because if you're recruiting me, the first thing I want to know is, well, are you going to be able to teach me how to make money?
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're not selling, well, then who the hell's going to help me?
I actually just find, but I get a euphoria out of it. I mean, I just love selling, and so I don't know how I could do that. I have to sell just to keep that energy. I enjoy it, but doing a Hall of Fame here, it's a lot of work, but it's not that hard.
No.
It's not that hard. I mean, for somebody to come in here and make $400,000 or $500,000, they just work 6-8 hours a day consistently hard.
Right.
They can do that here. It's not that difficult to do here.
Yeah. What does that look like for you schedule wise now? Because like you say, this will be your 5th year in a row you've hit it. So today, what is your weekly schedule?
I'm still every day, to be honest. I work every day. I have appointments every day. I do. I use the virtual dialers as well to help me book meetings. I dial as well. I just run appointments every day of the week, basically. And I'm on the West Coast, and I choose to run most of my leads out here on the East Coast.
Okay.
I like that schedule better. I'd rather get up early, run, and be done at 4 or 5 in the afternoon versus working late at night. Some nights I do, but it's 10 to 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Every day.
7 days a week.
Yeah. Every day. And I don't really know what else to do with myself. That's just what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, it's not easy, but it's simple.
Yeah, it's simple. That's the one advantage I have for maybe somebody coming in that doesn't have the experience. When you dial and you door knock out of the white pages,
yeah,
that's a whole different game. Leads are the most amazing thing ever.
Right.
And sure, it's no fun when you call leads and they hang up on you and you have to dial a bunch of people, but it's so much easier than not having leads.
Oh, I bet. I've never cold called, so I can't sit here and speak to it like you have, but just hearing or just using my brain and knowing I've only dialed off leads.
Right.
I've dialed off old leads and gotten pushback. Can't imagine just picking up a phone book and going, "Hey, interested."
Tough. It's very tough.
Yeah. So but I think we all have something like that. Like, I came from construction, building, roofing. Like, that sucks at times.
Right.
It's simple. I mean, shingle on a roof for me, simple, but it's hard work.
Right.
And it always works out when you're up on a roof. It's 100 degrees. It's the hottest day of the year, right. Or it's the coldest. I've been there too, where it's negative, 5.
Can't even imagine.
And we're roofing this building that is right next to the water, and you're just freezing your ass off all day long to the point where you don't even want to go inside for lunch because you don't want to warm up for that half hour to come back outside.
I know.
But my point is, we all have our shit like that we used to do before. Most of it. I mean, Anas is 19. I don't know what he has prior. Maybe he had to clean his room. I don't know. But most people have something they did before that they didn't want to do when it sucked at this, that, whatever the case. Like you cold call out of a phone book. So when your worst day down on leads, it's probably easy to go, you know what? Remember when I was doing that?
It is. Yeah.
But you got to almost force yourself to get there. I think sometimes we forget where we came from.
Yeah, and if somebody doesn't have perspective, then I can understand why it could be difficult. You buy a batch of old leads and it's really, really tough, and I can understand that.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense on the surface until you've done something else, and then you realize how simple that really is, and you just have to keep dialing, and then eventually it's going to work.
Yeah,
but it's tough.
It is.
Yeah,
I think one of the biggest struggles in this business is that roller coaster and not riding the highs or the lows, because you can get too high too.
Yeah. Definitely. I think the other thing is people don't realize the leverage with leads. You forget that you're leveraging your money.
Right.
And it's better than Vegas. The odds are extremely good.
Absolutely.
As long as you work them. So the leads-based system is an amazing system.
Yeah.
And but people, they view it as a negative, and that's one thing you got to try to get over.
Absolutely.
The good managers know how to do that, is to convince people how to get over that hump.
Yep. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how old the lead is, where it was generated from, what system, if it's direct mail, internet, whatever, it's still a client that reached out and said, "Hey, I need some information on this."
Yep.
And they all say life insurance. I've called leads back in the day where there was no life insurance on it anywhere. It said free 100 times.
Yeah.
I've seen that stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Thankfully, we don't do those.
Right.
So anybody you're talking to has at least expressed interest in life insurance.
Right. Even if they don't admit it on the first
You don't admit
it. they do.
Right. Yeah. How many times you get? No, I'm not interested. Like, really?
All right. I didn't fill that out.
Yeah. I'm like, Nat, I got your name here, your middle initial, your date of birth. Is this your email? Yeah. Is this your address? Yeah. Okay. So is it safe to say maybe you filled it out and didn't remember? That's okay.
Right. And that's the other thing is sometimes you get in that trap where you're like, these leads suck, or find something better.
Yeah.
But the reality is they're all good. They're all bad.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
Right.
They're all the same.
They're just leads.
Whatever you're comfortable calling really is what it comes down to. And we'd all look for the perfect lead, but it's just not there.
No. And I think what you'll see a lot of the top guys, when you ask them what leads they use, they say all of them.
Yeah.
Anyone. I'll try them all. I use some of these. Mm-hmm. It's hard to be successful just using one type of lead.
That's true. I actually got in that trap a bit. I mean, when the mortgage leads started to dry up a couple of years ago, I felt it. I felt my business slow down immediately.
Oh, because you were only doing mortgage.
Only mortgage at that point.
Yeah.
And they just dried up. So I've been adapting ever since, just trying to find a better system of flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they all work.
What are you doing now for a mix?
So I started jumping on those ethos leads,
really?
the aged ethos leads.
Okay.
And those have been great.
Yeah.
I mean, they answer the phone, they're high intentional, and they're inexpensive leads. So I was amazed how good those are compared to the mortgage leads. So it's been working those, and IUL leads as well. But nothing really specific. Just like you said, anything, whatever's in the system. I use mostly stuff in the system, and it's great.
The good thing about that too is they're all compliant, so you don't have to worry, because that's a whole other side of this too. I got these great leads, like, dude, they're cold calling from the Philippines. Like, y'all are going to go to jail.
Right. Yeah.
Probably stop doing that.
I find it just as easy to use the FFL system.
Yeah.
It's easy. It works great.
Absolutely. And I mean, at the end of the day, the leads, again, they're people that are looking for help, regardless of what type of lead it is. Mortgage leads were great. Direct mail mortgage leads were phenomenal back in the day. But one thing about the younger generations, they don't do physical mail.
Right.
Email, internet stuff. So that business, I always said this when we started the company, direct mail is dying. Like there will always be some semblance of it, but it's not, the returns are never going to be what they were in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Well, it's changed just since I've been here.
Absolutely.
The direct mail stuff. I mean, it slowed down and the cost per lead went way up, and it's happening.
Yeah.
In real
time.
Like,
we want to pay $200 for a mortgage lead.
Right.
Like,
right.
Still a good lead.
I still have some that that are $100 plus.
I bet.
And they're great leads, but God, it's a lot.
Yeah. If you only did that, imagine how small your profit would be.
Yeah, it'd be bad. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I supplement those because they're really good. So I keep them, but they're really not efficient. They're not that profitable. But they're
with mortgages, it's the economies, it crashes, the rates go up. All of a sudden, people aren't mortgaging houses, they're not remortgaging, they're not refinancing for a while. It ebbs and flows. So it's hard to, don't put all your eggs in one basket, as they say.
100%.
What would be, before we wrap this up, what would be a piece of advice you'd give to a brand new agent watching this now? Maybe they're not with us. They're somewhere else selling. They're checking this out.
Yeah.
What advice would you give that
person?
Well,
I would just say, if you're really interested in building a business that's solely dependent on just you and your skill set, and you don't have to worry about anybody else telling you what to do, how to do it, this is the best business ever for that. But it requires a discipline that most people just don't have. You have to just be able to gut check yourself when things are down and pick up that phone. When you're broke, you're out of money, your leads, you had some no-shows, you have to be willing to just look inside and say, all right, I'm just going to pick up the phone and make it happen.
Yeah.
If you could do that, the sky is the limit here. There's so much money to get in.
Absolutely.
But you got to just believe in yourself.
100%.
That's all it is. Just believe in yourself.
And be willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
And when it's bad, put in more work.
Yeah. That's it. Increase the activity when things are down. And that's the hardest part to do. When things are going great, it's easy to keep going. But when, you've had a week of no shows, you're out of money, you don't want to buy that next batch of leads, you just got to believe that this increase your activity, it's all work out.
Yeah. And I love what you said. If you're looking for something where you don't have to rely on anyone.
Yeah, that for me, that's critical because I've been self-employed my whole life.
Yeah.
So there's no way I could go work for a company. There's
you're getting into building a team now.
Yeah.
You didn't have to build a team to make money.
True. Yeah. And I like that actually. When I was looking into this early on, I didn't want to feel pressured to do that early on. I wanted to just take care of my own business. I didn't want to be penalized for not trying to recruit and do all that. I was very familiar with the old Prime America days back when I was a stockbroker, and I just felt like that just wasn't going to work for me. So, but now, I see the power in it, and I'd love to teach people how to do what I do and be able to show them my knowledge. That's the next step, is to really figure out how to get in front of more people now to show them how easy this can be.
Absolutely.
And what I can do to teach them how to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nice spot to be where you can recruit when you want to, not because you have to.
Definitely.
And I mean, and it almost like you think about how good it's been for you. Why would you not want to share it with
Yeah, I just like I said, it's the challenge for me is the age difference. I'm not in front of those kind of people that really want to be in this type of business at that age. So I have to figure out how to get in front of them.
They're out there somewhere.
They're there.
You were there, right?
I'll find them.
They'll find them. Well, Nat, I appreciate you coming up doing this.
Anytime.
I really do.
My pleasure.
It's fun. Nice to finally. I know we've probably crossed past that convention, but dude, I haven't seen your name on these leaderboards for years, and I'm like, dude, who is this Nat Di Carlo guy? He's killing it. 5 years Hall of Fame. Well, will be soon.
Almost, yeah.
Almost, and then hopefully next year we'll start seeing this agency grow. And look at that, and then it becomes, how many Hall of Fame agents can you have in your group? You know how to sell, so you can definitely teach them.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure to come out. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, thanks again, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Also, go to fflconvention.com now to get registered for next year's event. We'll be back in Irving, Texas. You were there last year?
Yeah.
Yep, phenomenal event.
Yeah, absolutely. Great events. Must go. Yeah.
Must go. Why is it a must go?
Every time you leave there, you just get energized. It just does something to you.
Yeah.
And your production goes up immediately. It's just the way it is.
It's almost hard to explain. Yeah. Like it's I mean, you think of that many successful people in one spot at one time.
Exactly.
And everyone's very open. Like you can ask, they can run into you and go, "Hey, Nat, help me out. Give me some advice." And everybody will share what they're doing, which is an awesome setting to be in. A big team. So, well, thanks again, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week right here on True Talk.